Hello everyone, have you ever been to a village? In a village, it is interesting to see farmers eating the crops they grow and drinking milk from the cows they milk. We can also see other activities like women making butter and baskets to sell and men who fish. But what do rural livelihood mean? Let us explore this topic, rural livelihood. Rural areas are those areas that do not have modern facilities and the population is very lower than in cities. What do you mean by livelihood? Do you have any idea about livelihood? Livelihood means the type of jobs and lifestyles people lead to earn a living. Thus, in this chapter, we will be looking at the different types of rural livelihoods. The first one is the farming. Farmers in rural India can be divided into three categories. They are big landlords, small farmers and landless farmers. Who are they? First one is big landlord, second one is small farmers and the third one is landless farmers. Now let's study each of them in detail. So the first one is big landlords. A very small number of farmers are big landlords. They own a major portion of farmland in a village. They produce enough to take care of their family needs. They sell surplus producers in the market. Many big farmers also carry out related businesses like flour mills, shop for fertilizers and seeds. They also rent out their farm equipments like tractors and threshers to other farmers. Big farmers do not need to work on their farms, rather they hire laborers for various works. Move on to the second one, that is small farmers. A significant number of farmers come under this category. Their land holdings produce just enough to meet their family needs. Most of the small farmers work on their fields. Some of them may hire laborers. Some of them may also work on others' farm to sustain their income. So this was all about the small farmers. Now let's move on to the third category, landless farmers. The number of landless farmers is very high in most of the villages. Such farmers usually work on others' farms. They get poorly paid. All the family members of such farmers are engaged in manual work. Their earnings is meager and is never enough to sustain the family. Meager means very less, very small. Their earnings are very small and is never enough to sustain their families. Farming in India generates employment on a seasonal basis. Workers are busy only during certain months of the year. Work is available during plowing, sowing, weeding and harvesting times only. For the remaining months, the farm workers are without job. Many landless farmers go to nearby towns in search of work during the lean period. Many of them also migrate to big cities in search of work. Due to employment generation programs of the government, many poor people get some work during construction of roads and check dams in nearby villages. Okay, this was all about the landless farmers. Now let's move on to the next topic, animal husbandry. Some farmers also rear cattle in order to supplement their income, called animal husbandry. They usually sell milk to the nearby milk cooperatives. Some may travel to nearby towns to sell milks. Some farmers may also be engaged in poultry farming. There is also other occupations. Many other occupations are also seen in villages. One can see provisional stores, medicine shops, cloth shop, small eateries, etc. In big villages, some people are also engaged in cycle repair shops, jiggery making, carpentry, etc. Next one is fishing. Fishing can be main occupation in some villages, especially in coastal villages. Most of the fishermen own small boats and primitive equipments. Some fishermen may own large catamarans which are fitted with motors. Large catamarans enable them to fish in deep waters. Fishing is a difficult job and involves long hours of working offshore. Move on to the next head, that is situation of market for farm produce. The farm produce do not fetch attractive prices during the harvest season. Farmers are usually forced to sell their produce at throwaway prices. Sometimes the middlemen force them to sell at cheaper rates. Sometimes the money lenders also force them to sell at cheaper rates. Lack of proper storage facilities is another major reason that farmers are forced to sell at lower prices. Government tries to help out farmers by offering MSP. What do you mean by MSP? MSP means minimum support price. So the government tries to help out farmers by offering MSP, minimum support price, for farm producers. During harvest season, the FCI, which means Food Corporation of India, buys the farm produce at MSP, minimum support price. Now let's conclude this chapter with the last topic of this lesson, that is situation of debt in rural areas. Farmers often need to borrow to buy farm inputs like seeds, fertilizers and farm equipments, while big farmers easily get loans from the banks. This is not easy for small farmers. Small farmers are at the mercy of money lenders and landlords for loans. In this situation, the interest rates are very high, very huge. This usually forces the small farmers into deep debt. More often than not, a major portion of the earning goes into repayment of loans. If the crop gets destroyed due to some natural calamity, the situation can become worse for the small farmers. So my dear students, this is it for today. Today's class is over. In today's class, we have learned about the chapter Rural Livelihood. It's a very interesting and important chapter. It's a small chapter also. So meet you in next video, in next class with another interesting chapter for you. Till then, good